how do you manage your own expectations of the clients?
For me, the goal and the motto has always been to the client and not for the client. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Clients write their own treatment plan. I don't actually have an expectation. My expectation is only to myself, and that I provide the best services that I can provide for the client, no matter what. I believe in showing up and being visible, regardless of how he acts. One thing he's gonna know, whether he like me or don't, he's showing up. This dude is gonna come by, you know. And so my expectations is only about doing my job, not for the client, because his expectations must always be greater than my expectations for himself. And so that's how I deal with it. And like you all have said, everybody come from different places and different things that has transpired in their life. It's important to find that inner person. I always talk to clients on a personal level, like, come on, man, this ain't what you was dreaming about doing. When you was laying down as a child asleep, you wasn't dreaming about going to penitentiary 5 times. You didn't dream of being downtown LA smoking crack. That wasn't your dream. So let's talk about some of those aspirations that you had. And maybe we can't meet all of them now, but let's try to look at some of them. Like, because you got to understand, people been doing what they've been doing for years, right? And it's just normal. Losing a housing match, they don't care. They've never had nowhere to live. That's, you know, going back to prison. That's what I do. That's all I know. And so it's about being able to introduce a new concept and a new way of living. I got clients that get apartments, but I still meet them at their tent. And people be like, I can't believe we got an apartment, but we're meeting at his tent. Why you can't believe it? Because you don't understand that the transition from homelessness to housing, sometimes it's very difficult for individuals. You know, some people get an apartment and their whole life change. Some people get an apartment and nothing changes. And so that's where the real work comes in. The expectation is always on the client. Always put the ball in his court. Always allow him to make his own decisions, to feel like he's in control, even though I know sometimes he's not, right? But it's important to build that rapport and that trust, and that I'm not an authority figure, right? I'm here to help. I'm here to assist. I'm not here to demand and none of that stuff, man. And talk down on you and discredit how you feel and what you've been through. You know, I think that's real important.
Charles, that was so well said.
Yeah.
I mean, that really
Definitely.
that just epitomizes being ultimately person-centered, right? You know, having the power back with them. And I love how you talked about, like, you know, that's not what you dreamed of, right? So connecting with people, like, what are your dreams, right? But yeah, that was so perfectly stated. Thank you for that, Charles.
Definitely.
I think sometimes the core of this, the way that we work with people, we can get lost and we get caught up in the services and the paperwork and the goal planning and sort of the human component can get lost in human services. And Charles, you just put it right back in there. So thank you for that.
And I like the part where, you know, where they came from and where they want to go, or where we want them to go, may not look right, but how they get there, they can't be expected to go from A to B in a second. You know, it takes time, building the skills, building the empowering them to, you know, make their own choices. And they may not be exactly, you know, ready for housing to live on their own. They may need another form of housing in that moment to get them to the next step. But it's a process.
I was going to add, yeah, the empowerment piece and truly being able to allow them to decide, and being as clear as possible of what some of the trajectory or options might look like moving forward, right? So like part of the way I manage my own expectations is by looking at the whole situation and explaining them exactly what the future might look like, right? If there's behavior or an issue, this is what the court might say. This is what might delay housing. This is what might interfere with this. And again, it's not to make sure I am not the authoritative figure telling them you need to do this in order to get this. It's this is what the case may be, and it's for you to decide how you want to go forward. Again, like just like Charles was saying, the empowerment piece, allowing them to make that option for themselves is what I think is just crucial in managing my own expectations as well, because I don't want to be the one that has to be responsible for my client being housed or maintaining housing or anything like that. They are their own person, and that's part of empowerment, you know. So
to view the full discussion, visit the Harm Reduction SharePoint page and the Learning Department's Harm Reduction playlist on YouTube.